Yeah, I'm sure we will indeed at some point in this first map. And even on the third map, you know, going with the Sorlak as well against the kill. It's not something you normally see every day, but heavy versus heavy, we've been discussing a lot about it on LAN, as we now have the first map underway in this winners bracket round 3 between ZenAku and dramiS. We're going to start off with ZenAku's POV, already picking up the Mega, and some good tri-bolt damage there. He's going to try and rotate around to try and do a little bit more of a tickle, you could say, with the LG.
Yeah, trying to see if he can do any damage, but managed to bully dramiS out of the TP, so he gets position on top now and can kind of control the pace of the game. He doesn't need to drop down, but he decides to do that, and that tends up to be quite a mistake, as dramiS had the orb ready and he countered the play instantly.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame there. ZenAku had quite a lot of damage done at the very beginning, had a nice stack advantage as well, but couldn't really finish things up considering what dramiS was doing back at the bottom telly earlier on. But it will be dramiS with the early lead. ZenAku has a great stack to work with. It's going to be even better, especially off those rocks. And you can see already ZenAku trying to at least seal that first frag to his name. Sadly, he could not. But even then, though, great rail, 38 HP. Has to be so careful. Still railable at this point. But after picking up the health bubble, he should be safe to try and at least contest this Mega. Goes for the orb. Still with the shot in hand, but it's ZenAku who's going to be the one who managed to take him down in that little scuffle.
Yeah, I like that ZenAku was trying to be more aggressive while he knew that dramiS didn't have the orb, but then the orb did come out and ZenAku still managed to get it because dramiS sort of missed the Mega there a little bit and tying up the game now. We'll see how it plays out as dramiS tries to get the orb back up.
Yeah, no armor to his name as of yet. 10 seconds until the heavy, just trying to hold that position and maybe catch ZenAku at that choke point, but he doesn't want to risk it for obvious reasons. He does pick up the light from top mid. Decides to go down for the heavy, but good rocket there, good rail straight afterwards. They could try to do a little bit more and gets an additional rail damage here, but the problem is the tri-bolt, even though it did a huge amount to keep him back, he managed to get a reflex rail straight afterwards in order to keep the damage low, or to keep the health low, sorry, of ZenAku.
He beat a bit more than he could shoot there. Like after doing the initial damage, he could have just backed off and gone for the mag, but he decided to stay there and he took a lot of damage. But this play that he did right now with the orb managed to bully ZenAku away from the Mega, get it completely clean. He should rocket jump to the heavy, there it is. Okay, so he gets full control based on that orb play that he did. Can he capitalize?
Yeah, that one little segment is just turned the tide massively. Now with full control with both items, and definitely has enough time considering how segregated the items are in the future. It just depends how clean this next frag is going to be from dramiS. Just trying to find a few rockets in, trying to get a little bit of damage. Does get a 55 from that last one. And just holding his own for now, just doing the same repeat, going for the Mega. Not going to go for heavy straight away. Wants to get info on where ZenAku's going to be. Has found him in the end. Is going to fake out that orb. Is going to try and go for the heavy. Is again, ZenAku knows that he can't go for it, can't contest it, but at least he gets a little bit of damage done. But eats the rail. Will he get the second? No, he does not. That was such a crucial rail for dramiS to take the lead.
Yeah, but thankfully for ZenAku, dramiS did not hit it. So ZenAku now actually starting to stack up a little bit. He should be able to get to the Mega. He's already in position. And dramiS knows he cannot push that choke point, especially without the orb. He's just going to try and survive it. ZenAku pushing his advantage. And the damage, though, by dramiS, what?
Oh my God.
He did 200 damage with both of the rockets that were pretty much direct, and somehow gets the kill. And now with the heavy spawning, he can even use the orb to try and get away of this situation. And it seems he might be forced to that, but no. ZenAku doesn't press the issue just then. Mega up in 9.
It's a shame. I still feel like ZenAku did make the right play, diving on in from that choke point to do that. It's just very unfortunate that dramis's rockets were on par and just incredible with the prediction, knowing that it's just going to continue with that aggression. But now, though, dramiS still standing by. Tickles him a tad once again with the last rocket.
Oh, has the rail out?
More done, but will he be able to finish him off? He tries to get away, which he has done as dramis's now looking, but gets caught off guard just a tad as ZenAku's been very aggressive here. Will he be able to finish things up? He does not, and dramis's great rail from him, now up 3-1.
That's what we expect from dramiS, right? Great rails, good reactions on it, and if he hadn't been so fast with the shot and hit it, the game would be tied right now. So ZenAku, again, he's doing good plays, but dramiS is managing to escape out of them with really clutch rail shots.
Yeah, dramiS definitely in his element at the moment. ZenAku, though, has the high ground and a great place to contest this next Mega, which will be up in 10 seconds, but dramiS now...
That was a really good rocket jump from dramiS. That's what gave him the lead initially, just trying to get there before ZenAku can do anything. And especially, like, if anything goes wrong, dramiS still has the orb, so it's completely fine. ZenAku needs to start lining up some good damage.
Certainly does indeed, as it is up to lights here.
Oh
Using that orb,
no!
and he was staring as well, assuming that he was going to literally orb in straight for the heavy. Good play from dramiS, just increasing his lane. He's got a shoe stack to work with. Didn't barely take any damage in that last bout. And now we're at the halfway stage, and dramiS in a prime position now to get this Mega. Doesn't miss up a little bit the jump for top mid, but it does not matter. The main thing is he does pick up the Mega, so to speak. Looking to try and contest the heavy now. ZenAku's trying to do the same thing, but has to back away. He's not really got the stack to work with. If he gets caught again with his trousers down, it will be 5-1 for dramiS, but it looks like he's decided to make the right play. And just backs away, goes around to the rail, and now we've got the Mega coming up in the next 10 seconds.
Again, the play by dramiS he's done that 3 times, just rocket jumping from lower to mid, and it's the second time he actually grants him a frag, a very important one right before the Mega comes up. It seems that he just keeps extending his lead, and ZenAku unable to stop him just yet. He might have to change his gameplay a little bit. Oh, a good rocket. Maybe ZenAku can actually get this item. Oh, that's another good one. Will ZenAku go for the kill? He has to at this point. 40 HP remaining for dramiS. ZenAku coming in and gets the frag. Okay, now ZenAku can build a good gameplay based on this. Let's see. Mega coming up, and dramiS actually pushing for the Mega, even though the stacks are quite even. ZenAku not quite well positioned for it, and he's gonna miss out on it because of it. He has to back off to not take further damage.
Yeah, it was a hard decision to make. He wasn't really too sure if he should just put the pressure on and keep him back around LG, or just literally let him go towards the Mega and then stand top mid. But you can see from there, probably wish he was a bit more aggressive for the Mega, as he's come straight on through. The LG comes in with the orb as well. Doesn't use the orb, but maybe just he did not. So tight there. But Mega will be up in the next couple of seconds. dramiS again hasn't really got the HP nor to pursue this, but he's going to try and contest it anyway. But it will be ZenAku. He does get that, and we'll get the third frag.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of dramiS hanging out there for so long on so little HP, especially since he has the rail. He can just chill out, be further away, but being so close means you're open to a lot of risks, and ZenAku being able to fully capitalize on that. Now he has complete control on the map, a very good stack. 3 minutes to go and only 2 frags behind.
Definitely has plenty of time and the stack. It's just a matter of if he can get the job done here. ZenAku does pick up the Mega.
It's going to be very hard to get clean frags, right? So, because of the orb, especially. If he even goes for some damage, there will be the orb to try and grant some more damage. Let's see if he will... Oh, the orb has been used to get away. So ZenAku, now it's free reign for him. He can get as close as he wants. He still has his, the peeker as well. Looking for dramiS, and again, I don't like that position. Oh, that's very good. He can even go with a peeker now if he wants. Doesn't need to, but we'll see. Only 2 minutes to go now. Still needs to get that frag. I'm surprised he didn't just chase directly. He found dramiS. That should be an easy kill. He should know dramiS doesn't have the orb just yet. There it is. Here's the peeker. Can he get the kill with it? Rocket jump? Nope. Because, you know, he's getting close to the frag, but he hasn't been able to get it just yet, and the time keeps withering away. Can he get it now? In dramiS, he got the kill, but dramiS did not do nearly enough damage to be contesting now at the middle ground. dramiS needs to be away from here. He needed to be the one getting one of the lights. It's all for ZenAku, and dramiS at the heavy. This is a huge mistake by him, and that's the really clean kill by ZenAku. It's still a minute to go. He ties up the game. He might get another one here. Mega up in 7 seconds. dramiS cannot show up there. Oh no, he's there. He's trying to make use of the choke point. But he's done damage, he just has to leave right now. He cannot overstay his welcome.
Certainly needs to indeed, and ZenAku just holding on to that position, and dramiS is still working his way here to try and get something done. But yeah, it's been so weak for such a long time, and finally ZenAku takes the lead with 50 seconds left remaining. It's just a matter of what dramiS can do to try and tie this up, considering the amount of control he has across the map, and that is just going to add insult to injury here. dramiS is literally knocking on death's door as ZenAku takes him down. 2 frag lead, 35 seconds left. Managed to pick up the Mega. Heavy's coming up in the next 10 seconds. If he picks up this Heavy, this could be a curtain call here for dramiS, and it looks like it has been 3 frag lead now, and this looks like to be ZenAku's first map win.
I mean, what we were talking about earlier with the consistency, I think ZenAku was just very consistent throughout all the 10 minutes. And dramiS definitely did have higher picks. You know, when ZenAku is doing good decisions, but dramiS is still able to takes the win in some of the earlier fights. But eventually, with good decision after good decision, ZenAku is able to take the win on the first map, 10-5.
Yeah, you kind of felt like when dramiS was quite weak, like, you know, fair play to him. He had balls of steel trying to contest the items when he was so weak. But then again, at the same time, when ZenAku had, you know, full control, full set of the items in his huge stack, dramiS was doing a lot of damage on some of the occasions. And I was quite surprised considering what he was doing. But some of the rockets he had time and time again, especially the one right at the very beginning, which he did, what, 194 damage with those 2 rockets, as ZenAku, you know, rightly so, made the correct play to flank rounds and just try and clean him up on rail because there's nowhere else for him to go. There's literally trapped into a corner. It was quite surprising, but dramiS did put on a good performance nonetheless. It's just a shame that when ZenAku got full map control in the items halfway through the matchup, that was literally it.
Yeah, I'm glad that ZenAku managed to stay consistent through it all. He was like, okay, I've lost these couple of fights, but it wasn't because my decision was bad. He just had better combat skill in that time around. He hit a couple of good rockets, and that's fair play to him. I'm going to stick to my game plan. And instead of some players, you know, when that happens, they will blame the result on the original decisions that they make, and that's usually not the right call. And ZenAku, that's a very good take that he had, and stuck to his game plan, and it worked out really well for him.
And what I like from ZenAku's play style as well here, there is some occasions in the past, like not this event, but just in previous events, where he seemed a bit too passive for some of the kills. He wouldn't prioritise the kills, he sometimes would prioritise the items, which is understandable, but there's some moments where you do just have to give it up and not be too passive for it. But this time round, he was, you know, a lot more aggressive, he was a lot more stable, he was a lot more confident knowing that, you know, he can get the frag and be able to pick up the items and stuff like that.
Especially now with the frags that we were looking when there was like 2 minutes left and he was close to getting the kills, but he wasn't quite chasing, but then he found the opportunity to chase and got that kills done. Those kills done.
Yeah, he was. I think the word we're looking for is just being a lot more proactive. He's trying to get the heavy whilst trying to, you know, do a bit more damage to him. Even if he doesn't, then at some point dramiS is going to have to push him, especially for that mega. And he knows what dramiS is like. Even no matter how weak he is, sometimes he does, you know, come forward. You know, you saw him in the bottom nail gun where he was literally. Like overstayed his welcome to try and contest, especially with the rail, and just like trying to rely on that. But I think now dramiS should be in a bit more of his comfort zone here going into the next map. It's going to be on Ruins. It's going to be the Slash versus Anarchy picks. So
fast picks. There's going to be a lot of railing. It's a very open map. This is dramiS' home. We expect to see his best performance on this map, and well, his tournament life on the winner bracket definitely depends on it, as it's a match point for ZenAku right now.
Yeah, because if we go back to those picks and bans in terms of the map picks as well, like, you know, we've got Ruins versus Anarchy versus Slash. Some people might say the Slash has a slight advantage, but of course it being his best map, it's going to make it feel a little more comfortable. Yeah. But even on the last map as well, that's going to be a kill versus the Solag, and with dramiS having the kill, he's probably thinking to himself, if I take this map, I have a good chance to try and, you know, potentially take the series. Yeah,
definitely. And as we were talking about it, we're going to get underway on the second map on ZenAku's POV on the Anarchy. Taking the Mega, going for the rockets straight away, as both items will be collected pretty much at the same time. Already going for a bit of damage exchange. Not much damage done by either player yet. We'll see when the first big fight actually gets here. Oh, and ZenAku trying to go for a cheeky rail shot. Not quite, couldn't quite get the timing right.
Yeah, no shenanigans from either player at the beginning in terms of messing up the timings.
We usually expect, like, when it's 2 light champions that are so fast in the same map, for there to be like a very high-speed game. But sometimes it's not quite the case, since they both can just keep running away from each other.
Yeah, that's going to be the case, I think, on a lot of circumstances here. I'm sure, depending on the scenario, both these players will place themselves in. But items aren't segregated that much at the moment, as there could be a gentleman's agreement, depending on the circumstances of their positions and who's going to go for what, where, and how. And it looks like ZenAku now will be going for the Mega, and dramiS will be going for that heavy. And you can see ZenAku not dropping down, not going to try and get a rail from around the corner, or not going to try and lay any damage down as of yet. He's just playing a waiting game in the moment, just trying to set up some traps here and there. You can see him just waiting by that TP just to see if he will come through. Oh. And literally he thought that was going to be it, but in the end though, does consume that last rail. So ZenAku's weak, and needs to really be careful on his next motive. He does, or was quite tempted to go for that light, but decides that, yeah, it's probably not worth the risk for the 90 damage.
Yeah, the hard thing about playing light versus light is that if you're caught out of position, you're dead. You're just literally dead, because if you're like light versus a medium or a heavy champion, you know where they're going to appear, but versus another light champion, they can appear out of anywhere. So when you go through any room or any TP, you need to be very sure of what you're going to do, because you can die very quickly, and the opponent can get where you don't want him to be very quickly as well. And so far, both players being very careful with their gameplay.
Yeah, certainly have done indeed. It's 2 minutes in, and ZenAku's only used that one inject so far. Just trying to feel things out at the moment. Still 0-0, as you rightly said. Still neither player holding a huge advantage. The only time we had was when dramiS, as a catcher in that rail, when ZenAku decided not to go for the light near the tri-bolt. But even now, though, ZenAku just trying to catch him with that rail, but dramiS is just deciding to prioritise the high ground and not really peek unless it's to his advantage here. Oh, I was going to say that, as dramiS almost managed to pick him with that previous rail, but as he went up the jump pad, he said see you later, and he's just trying to get away, but will he be able to?
Yeah.
No, he does not. As ZenAku, after a few minutes of play, finally gets the first frag.
That was, I mean, dramiS had both items under control, so you figured he could actually go up the jump pad, but when you're a light champion, it doesn't really matter how much tag you have, you can die very quickly. And he's charging to the heavy now without an LG, I believe. Not the best move by dramiS, and ZenAku just gonna bully him away from the area, so this gives control to ZenAku. Also a bit of momentum as well, as he should be going for the Mega. Does get railed, so dramiS able to get that Mega. I thought ZenAku was gonna be a lot faster getting positioned there. So dramiS should be able to collect a couple of the light armors to then try to make a push onto the heavy eventually. So ZenAku position on the heavy, dramiS trying to get some armor. Wait, ZenAku isn't on the heavy. I think ZenAku messed up the timing. The heavy is up, and dramiS is the one actually collecting the heavy in the end. Okay, he gave dramiS such a big advantage right now. He definitely messed up the timings. He's wondering now, okay, let's get back into it. When was the Mega? Can I get it? And he doesn't know the timing of Mega either. So I think ZenAku just lost concentration there for a little bit, and dramiS got full control based on it, and he's smelling blood. He wants to equalize the game. He wants to capitalize on the huge stack advantage that he now has.
Funny enough, with that last Mega, dramiS just assumed that ZenAku did know the timing because he was in position, and funny enough, it popped up as soon as he went round the corner, which is absolutely typical. But this could be a chance for dramiS here to try and equalise that scoreline. Had a very, very small window of opportunity there, but sadly couldn't take advantage of it. Does pick up the Mega. Heavy's up in the next 10 seconds. Of course, dramiS is going to put himself in position to try and
the very good movement.
But I like that as well. He's going to try and be proactive to try and catch him off guard whilst the heavy was coming up, but sadly it wasn't going to be the case.
It's two light champions. If dramiS doesn't try to go for like a direct chase or some out-of-the-box kind of play, he's not going to catch up to ZenAku, because he can just keep running infinitely as well. So he needs to do something, you know, weird.
And ZenAku's going to feel like he needs at least 2 or 3 frags to his name before he can feel a little bit more comfortable, especially with Slash's mobility and speed here. But again, has to back away, has taken a bit of damage so far, so ZenAku can fight this, but has decided to back away once again. Of course, that's a horrible choke point. You don't know if he's going to rail or rocket, so he didn't really want to, you know, take that risk at all in the slightest, as we're past the halfway mark at the moment. dramiS with a tiny stack lead in comparison. As now dramiS just still biding his time. Here's the audio cues, just waiting for that next Mega. Heavy's up in the next 10 seconds. So this could be another opportunity here to not only pick up the heavy, but depending on if ZenAku contests it or not, we'll have to see.
Seems dramiS can get the heavy for free. Tries to do some damage, does end up getting granted 60 damage. So let's see if he will actually try to chase now, as he knows ZenAku shouldn't have much armor. I like that he's trying to bait out the lower light armor, and now he's going for ZenAku. Very well played. Can he actually get the kill? ZenAku on Death Star, as dramiS collects yet another major item. It's been nothing but major items for dramiS this game. And a light as well. He got both major items and the light. So I would like to see him actually chase directly instead of going down here, but it's fine. He just wants to get an even bigger stack difference.
Yeah, battle of attrition, I suppose, in that circumstance. It literally starving him out, so hopefully at some stage be able to close the gap and actually get this first frag. And he's doing a good job. Yeah, sure, fair enough, he hasn't got any frags, but little by little, each time, you know, he's picking up these items, he's getting full control. Now he has the timings, eating up the lights, as you rightly mentioned earlier on. So he damn well knows that it's just a matter of time until he gets his first frag. It's just a matter of being able to pin ZenAku down And you can see that ZenAku's been making the same rotations around the back of heavy stairs each and every time. And don't get me wrong, dramiS knows that, but he's also second guessing, thinking maybe he's going to rotate somewhere different this time. But it may be able to catch him here. So consider the circuits.
Nope.
Oh, let's consider the circuits. Starting to catch him with the rail. He's going to push it on forward anyway, and a few rockets from ZenAku just to try and at least keep him at bay. Like would have been some ridiculous defense rockets there, but really about to catch it. Oh no, he does not. Just barely misses that last rail. That was absolutely crucial here. But the main thing is for dramiS, he has to take any damage himself. He's actually picked him down, and finally, after 7 minutes and 20 seconds, finally gets the first frag, ties the lead. But ZenAku's still in a world of trouble, having to get the weapons in his arsenal.
Yeah, the worst thing for ZenAku right now is that he has no idea when items are up, basically, because dramiS has full rotation, complete control, and ZenAku is just basically playing with what he can find eventually. And dramiS going a little bit on the chase now, knowing that ZenAku doesn't even have rockets, so he can't defend choke points very well anymore. So dramiS given full permission to chase as much as he wants, and that he definitely should try and capitalize with a couple of kills.
He has your permission, Insta, that's fine. That's the main thing. With 2 minutes left remaining, it's still dramiS on the warpath at the moment, still looking to try and take this lead. Being a very, very patient individual to no forward, and he's got no reason to either. He's got no reason, even if it goes to sudden death or, you know, God knows how many minutes it could happen, which could be potentially considering the circumstances. ZenAku's defense has been good, but you're right though, it's just the timings. He just needs to try and at least contest this a little bit better. But with dramiS eating these lights up as well, it's really tough, and predicting where ZenAku's going to go each and every time. It's been a rough road here for the last 5 minutes for ZenAku.
Yeah, I definitely think that dramiS should try and force the issue, because one, he's still playing a light champion, right? If ZenAku gets one good rocket, he can turn the game around completely, like even with that rail. Now Mega is up, and ZenAku suddenly has position on it. And if he actually kills dramiS, he barely did anything the whole game, and he might still win, because dramiS did not try and press the advantage that he had, and he actually gets the frag on dramiS. So dramiS, after having control for like 7.5 minutes, ends up dying after only have gotten one kill with the control he had, and now he's the one forced to press the issue, trying to come up with some funky angles to rail ZenAku on. But ZenAku, I think he's just gonna go back to what he's doing, you know, just run away, especially now that he does have the rocket and the one frag advantage. He has no reason to even try to fight. And since he does have the item timings, he does scoop up the Mega. Heavy coming up, and now dramiS is forced to do a really weird push. And ZenAku able to get 2 good rockets and get the frags. So dramiS, I think he's going to be feeling really bad about losing that one if he doesn't come back in the next 20 seconds.
He certainly will do, and there's still a little bit of time left. We've seen some weird comebacks in the past, but the problem is with this stack advantage, I think it's already going to tell the tale here with his... Give me a second map win here.
Nice.
Oh, lovely rail there from ZenAku just to finish things off. And he's been running away for the majority of his game, but as soon as he's got the items, the item timings in, on point, that's when he was able to contest. There's no point contesting for items if you don't know when the items are even going to be appearing up. So he just had to bide his time and wait for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be ZenAku who progresses on to the winners semi-finals against dramiS 2-0. As we did feel like at some stage dramiS was going to be able to try and claw his way back and win that second map and push us onto a third, but it just wasn't to be.
Yeah, especially on the second map, he had control for like almost 8 minutes, and ZenAku was just running away from him, not getting any items, even the lights, but dramiS not being able to press the issue, and ZenAku as well with some really good defensive movement. If you don't get the frags, you're gonna get fragged eventually, because ZenAku eventually is able to turn that around, get a one good lucky rocket, one good defensive rocket, and turn the situation around, get the frag, and then it's a world of trouble. When you have control, when you have the means, you need to press the issue.
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say he was in a world of trouble. Like, 9 timings, he had barely any mobility compared to the slash. He fought fully at some stage, and of course, going around those back heavy stairs to at least get him catch him on a choke point. If he does get taken down, at least dramiS won't really have the stat to continue with that pressure straight afterwards. But dramiS wasn't really falling for anything. He knew his game plan, knew what he was trying to do, and it's a shame considering that he had that full map advantage for at least 5 minutes and just really struggled to close it out. But you can see ZenAku was, acting like the Houdini on more than one occasion. I don't know how he got away with some of the situations he placed himself in.
Yeah, dramiS is going to be looking at that game and wondering how he couldn't close it out earlier, because he had a few good opportunities, but ZenAku just managed to run away all of the times.
He certainly did. I think the only other time he could have done is when he was at T and then he was trying to contest a Mega when ZenAku was literally standing on it. If he hit one of those rails, then that could have been an absolute game changer. Like, we wouldn't be seeing a 2-0 series. We'd be going on to map 3 right now.
Yeah, I was fully expecting this to go to the third map, especially seeing how well dramiS was playing based on the control, but I think we're about to see it now that when ZenAku actually, there we go, catches him off guard with the LG on the T. dramiS just forced to then do a lot of aggressive moves that didn't really go his way, sadly for him.
I think even for that third frag for dramiS, he probably wishes that he didn't go back down on the jump and again, because he only had one frag. He still had 30 seconds to make that recovery rotation, and even if it wasn't the best situation,
one frag,
then
5 seconds are enough.
Yeah, it is what it is, but obviously it's less than that really at the end of the day. It's just very unfortunate because dramiS did have a clear advantage. The fact that ZenAku didn't have timings. He struggled to make any kind of recovery rotation due to the fact that he's eating all the lights. He had a mobility as well. He did everything he could, but ZenAku's defense in terms of being able to be as unpredictable as he could be, and the fact that he could not push that heavy stairs jump choke point, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, completely.
But we'll be going into an interview very shortly with ZenAku to see how he exactly felt from that last match, but also progressing into the winners' semi-finals.
Yeah, hello ZenAku, congratulations on winning the last game against dramiS. The second game was pretty tight. It was 2-0 at the final score. How did you feel with the entire time that you played?
Well, I had to be really careful on map 2 because dramiS is that good on the slash, and I just knew that, one mistake for a weapon choice or something like that, he could really capitalize, so I had to play that slow. And then even when you're in control, if he hits, damage like he can do, that's why I was playing so safe. But I hope it wasn't too boring for the viewers because that's what I had to do to win. But ultimately, yeah, dramiS is playing well. Also, map 1 was kind of close, kind of got a bit shaky at the start, but happy to win.
Great. Now you are on round 4 of upper brackets. I don't know. You have your opponent. It's Racy, isn't it? Your teammate. Top 2 in the world. Well, how do you prepare for that match? How do you think that you can beat him?
Well, I have to just respect Racy as a player. I mean, he's arguably he is one of the best players in the world, and I think it's a best of 5. I think it's a best of 5, and it's going to give me a lot of opportunities to kind of play with the picks. I'm becoming more and more confident, I think, playing versus him and other top players. So I think it's whoever's game really. So.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck in that game, and congratulations again on winning this last game, and see you in the next round. Bye-bye. So, back to you guys.
Thank you very much indeed, and well done for ZenAku for taking that 2-0, as considering that second map probably didn't reflect it from the circumstance we saw some there. But it was a great series nonetheless.
It was a great series, and dramiS started sort of play with the lead both of the maps. He started really well on both maps, but couldn't quite close it out in the end. But ZenAku was just playing very solid throughout all of it, as we were talking about earlier, right before the game, that he's, out of the 2, he's the more consistent player, and he definitely showed that. But dramiS will be looking at this game for sure and keep improving throughout this tournament.
Certainly will indeed. And just going back through the bracket, guys at home, if you've only just joined us, it will be a Razy versus ZenAku, a myztro matchup here. So it will be a team kill in the winners semi-finals. And we've still got a couple more winners bracket matches left to go beforehand. Now we've got Maxter versus R&V, which will be coming up next. And we do have Chain versus CNC, which should be another great matchup to finish things off on the winner's side. Yeah,
both 2 very good games still to go. And on the loser bracket, we still have a lot of games left to play. The myztro matchup in the semi-final is going to be a very interesting one. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
I am. Honestly, they've been obviously practicing together quite a lot for over the past, even during the off-season as well.
And even playing the 2v2 together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're literally playing against your teammate and playing against, obviously in the same org as well. And just looking at loser side as well, we've got Rome versus Slip. I think that could be a close affair in itself, depending on how Rome's going to perform against Slip. Because Slip's, been around for a very long time. We know that he's got a lot of experience in terms of his, he's a veteran in terms of his dueling experience. But I'd like to see how Rome will be able to do now that he's slowly settling into this LAN environment.
And he already caused an upset. He beat Tony, so I think he can beat Rome as well. I think that's going to be a really close game. And Yeah, it definitely should. I think Sleep is one of the most experienced Spanish players here, and I think he has a good chance of taking down Rom.
Certainly could indeed. It could be on the Maxter stream, which is also the B stream as well, which is where all the loser bracket matches, or some of the majority of loser bracket matches, were still to come anyway. But anyways, going into our next matchup will be the winner's side, the Argentinian powerhouse of Maxter versus the UK man, which will be, of course, RMV. We're going to see how that pans out later on. So stay tuned, as we'll be back in just a few minutes.